Northern counties after a powerful storm blew through yesterday afternoon. Taking a look at video sent in from our viewers.
Yeah, 2 people were killed, several homes and businesses damaged.
And we have live team coverage. Chief Meteorologist David Paul and Michelle Choi in the Conroe area speaking to neighbors there. Meteorologist Pat Kavlin tracking the latest. Dave, let's start with you.
Okay, we're on the north side of Lake Conroe. This is where it appears that it's straight line wind damage. We're in the Malibu Cove subdivision, Cape Malibu. And look at this, root systems completely removed from the ground. And I want you to look down, look at how wet the soil is. This soupy soil from all the rains we've had over the past month, which have been way above normal, just aren't allowing the trees to grip onto the ground like they used to be able to. And so you see several examples of trees that have been uprooted and came down on houses, in yards, and the cleanup continues. Ron, you're a long-time resident.
1972.
Yeah, you've been here since 1972, so that's the year they filled up Lake Conroe.
Yeah, that's correct.
You were about to mow your yard when this storm rolled in. Tell me about what happened.
Well, I was going out in the backyard to cut the grass, and I don't believe in coincidences, and the lawnmower wouldn't start. The battery cable had corroded, and so this storm came up. All of a sudden, it was a beautiful day, and the power lines fell right across the backyard. And fire went everywhere, and like I said, I don't believe in coincidence. God kept me from getting in the backyard.
Absolutely, God protected you. And we've heard several stories like that through the neighborhood where it was just coincidence or the Lord protecting people up here in Cape Malibu. Ron, thank you for telling us your story. I'm glad that you are safe today as well.
Thank you very much.
It could have been a lot different, but we're doing okay. It's a big cleanup here. Guys, back to you from Cape Malibu.
All right, thank you so much. That man is lucky to be alive.
All right, let's send things over now to Michelle Choi in southeast Conroe with new details about a deadly house collapse there.
Hey Sherman, yeah, Montgomery County emergency officials say a 2-story house collapsed in this area as those strong storms Dave was just talking about ripped through this area as well. In fact, take a look. Hard to believe that this pile of lumber was at one point a standing structure. And new this afternoon, we've now confirmed the identity of the second victim killed in this tragic collapse. Family members say 30-year-old Angel Huerta was working on the house located here in Conroe's new Ladera Creek community when yesterday's storms ripped through and the building collapsed on him and 8 other workers. Authorities say the house was still under construction and in its framing stage. This morning, Angel's family stopped by the site hoping to get more information about what happened from authorities, but say they were told this was still an open case and they'd have to wait. The family tells us Angel was from Mexico but had lived in the Houston area for more than 15 years working in construction. His sister-in-law didn't want to be identified but shared Angel was always happy and that they're heartbroken he's gone. She says her phone started blowing up as other workers who witnessed the collapse began calling her.
They just gave me a call and said my relative, they had an accident, they were working and the house fell down on top of them. That's all I know. And I mean, I called my other brother-in-law, I went to the hospital, and he's the one that told us everything that was going on.
Yeah, you hear her mention another brother-in-law there. That's because 2 people who were working on the home with Angel yesterday, she says, were his family members. Those 2 men, along with 5 other workers, were all rushed to the hospital with injuries, but we've now learned 6 of them are recovering back at home. Sadly, another person was killed in this collapse, 21-year-old Brian Ruby Lopez Aguilar. We were here as his father arrived at the scene last night and shared these photos of his son with us. Yeah, your heart just goes out to the victims and their families. Now, more and more family members are starting to show up. In fact, in the last couple minutes, I met a woman who says she is Angel's common-law wife. They've been together for 4 years. She's actually here right now to pick up his truck, which has been sitting out here since yesterday. Again, she tells me she is devastated by this loss. Now, I did speak with the Conroe Fire Department's assistant chief this morning. He tells me that crews will be out today assessing the damage, but so far, they haven't received any reports of major damage. We also understand surveyors with the National Weather Service will be making their way here at some point today as well. We'll, of course, keep you posted as we learn more. Back to you.
Michelle Choi, thank you. We're going to take a live look now of our skyline from the Gulf Freeway camera. You're looking at downtown Houston. We've got some cloudy skies at this hour.
Yeah, let's join Pat Kavlin now. Pat, what happened yesterday? It was so fast.
Yeah, it was, and it caught a lot of people off guard. I mean, even us included, there was no forecast for thunderstorms, so we got to actually go back in time and look at where these storms developed. It actually all came from a piece of energy through West Texas. That piece of energy moved across the state. It actually contained a little bit of spin with it, and when you combine that spin in the atmosphere with the heat and humidity that we had yesterday, the fuel for these thunderstorms, the result was what we had, a lot of damage with these straight line damage and wind gusts. Again, the Weather Service out there doing surveys to determine if a tornado did touch down, but we had a severe thunderstorm warning that became a tornado warning once rotation was indicated in the storm. So we're going to do a deeper dive on this coming up in full weather in just a few minutes. But right now, we've got temperatures that are in the upper 70s, low to mid 80s. Couple clouds out there right now. We are dry, but we're watching another area of spin up towards Waco. That's diving south towards our direction. Future track brings us storms. We'll give you the latest forecast coming up after the break.